then we are going to go ahead and get started here. So I want to say hello to everybody. Welcome to Play Your Way Thursday. My name is Brandy Camel, also known as Nevalistis on your Diablo 3 forums and your community manager for Diablo 3. Today, if you've never joined us for Play Your Way before, we've got not only the guest that you voted for, or, well, our runner-up. Unfortunately, our number one guest was unable to make it today, but our second runner-up, Devlok, who submitted the Sriracha Monk, was able to make it, and so he's joining us today. Hey there, Devlok.
Hello.
In addition, we're also joined by our friend from YouTube, Meathead Mikhail. Hey there.
Hello.
And of course, last but not least, we're joined by game designer Don Vu. Hey, Don.
Indeterminate useful.
Oh, did we lose Don?
Don.
Oh no, Don. So while we go ahead and get that sound sorted out here, in the meantime, I'll go ahead and explain to you a little bit about what Play Your Way is about. We have members of the community submit their builds every week, and every week we feature one of the builds that you've sent in. And this week, while the Wizard vote had won, the Wizard was unable to make it this week, so instead we're featuring the Monk build. And you might notice that there's a little bit different with our overlay this week. Our main studio is currently undergoing construction. So instead of having our usual faces all up on there, you get me and you get our lovely placeholders in the meantime. So bear with us while we undergo construction, and let's go ahead and see what's going on. Okay, so I just got news that Don's machine locked up the moment that we started, so he's rebooting and he'll be joining us again shortly. So hopefully we will be able to get that resolved right away. In the meantime, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to go ahead and run through one Torment 6 Rift just to kind of warm up and get everybody going. And then shortly after that, we're going to jump into Greater Rifts and see just how far we can climb with our group today. And while we're waiting for Don, Devlok, could you explain a little bit about the build that you submitted to Play Your Way?
Sure. Pretty much the build started after one day when I came home from work. A friend whispers me to help him with a pack of goblins that used to be hard at the time. And I was on my Exploding Palm Cyclone Strike Monk, and I joined and didn't kill any goblins, so I decided then to make a monk that had Perma Epiphany and was able to kill goblins. So that meant using Wave of Light, and after a bunch of iterations ended up with the build that I submitted to the Play Your Way, which was Cinder Code and Explosive Light. So, and it was optimized for T6, so today kind of sucks for speed griffs.
Well, I'm sure we'll be able to make it work. I think Don is getting restored. Let's see if we can go ahead and get him back into our Skype chat. Hold on 1 second. We do have some sound issues. Oh, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get that resolved. I've got Alex here to help me out. You need me to adjust my game sound, yes?
No, it's just your microphone.
Oh, it's just my microphone. Okay, cool. So we're getting that fixed right now.
You can continue.
All right. We do have to wait for Dawn to get back in. Yes.
Brandy, they're saying your mic is kind of low.
Yep. Yeah, that's being fixed right now. So
Awesome.
hang in there. We're on it.
We got this, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We will make it. Faith in Blizzard.
All right. Let's see if this is coming through any better. Go ahead and let me know in chat if you guys can hear me just fine. And we'll make sure that this is going the way it needs to be. All right, cool. Sounds like it's good now. Excellent.
Yay.
Now all we need is Dawn, and we can get this rolling. I think he's still restarting. Do we want to go ahead and run a rift in the meantime?
We can do that.
While we wait for him to come back?
I just tried inviting him again. Oh, never mind.
Nope. He log off or to the Skype chat.
Nah, he was on the recent player menu, but then he disappeared.
Ah, all right. So in the meantime, we'll just go ahead and do a T6 rip, just so that we can continue. Devlok, your mic's a little bit loud.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
We'll see if that. It looks like it sounds like your mic's really close to your mouth at the moment. So.
Hello?
Don.
Yeah, sorry, my computer froze. Can I get an invite?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and get you back into this group. We were going to just start with T6 and then move on
Sounds
from
good.
there. So.
Joining now.
Am I still breathing into the mic?
No, that's way better.
All right. Sorry about that.
I could breathe into the
One of
mic.
these things.
So hey Don, thanks for joining us.
Yep. Hello, hello.
We had some
Hi,
great
Don.
timing on that. Didn't
Yeah,
we?
that was awesome.
Right as it started. So.
Looking forward to you guys. Hopefully I don't die.
This isn't, like I mentioned, this is a new and unexpected setup for us as our studio is currently undergoing construction. So we appreciate your patience as we work through our technical difficulties. So.
Follow the monk if you can.
Yeah.
Well, and Don's running Delseers today, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm busy. This is the build I run on my hardcore wizard, and having a lot of fun with it. Just popping down slow times and using my frozen orb. Kind of have a little nostalgia with my Diablo II sword. Kind of the reason why I made Delseers, to be honest.
I'm actually using Delseers on my hardcore wizard as well. So
Did you get 6 piece already?
I have not gotten 6 piece yet. I currently only have 3 pieces and no Ring of Royal Grandeur. So
We should play together. So, because I have like 5 copies of Delseers now.
oh geez, yeah, we should play
Some
together.
yeah, I have like 2 copies of Towels and a couple copies of Firebirds.
Are you using it with Frozen Orb and Magic
Yeah,
Missile?
yeah, Glacial
It's a lot of
Spike.
spam. Man, Triumvirate. It's a lot of maintenance.
It's a lot of clicking. My left pointing finger is like hurting really bad right now because there's so much clicking.
It seems like with this latest patch, like a lot of the sets have kind of moved over into more like higher APM playstyles. So it's
You
not
think?
just
Like,
yeah.
there's
I mean,
a little bit
it's
more
been
skill cap
yeah. Barb
because
is
the higher
still,
APM.
like, Barb is still right.
Barb is kind of right click and do whirlwind.
Barb has always been right click.
Whirlwind kind of is a little bit more fun. There's a lot more tornadoes, but you can't see anything.
Yeah, definitely a way to PK somebody in hardcore.
I think the tornadoes, the alpha is going down into the future patch. I'm not sure which patch.
Yeah, it's
But,
kind of like the Crusader, the Fire Fist of Heavens originally.
Yeah,
Just filled the screen. It was like impossible. Nobody wanted to play with Crusaders.
yeah. I think I was in a rift yesterday with 3 barbs, and I was like, uh-oh, this is not. I can't even see anything. But I think the alpha is going down in a future patch, so that should help with that.
Yeah, Grimiku's been playing the Whirlwind Barbarian. Every time I turn around and look at the screen, it's just all yellow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially if you use the BK set. It's like super, just tornadoes everywhere.
Yeah.
What are we doing now?
All right. So I think at this point, do we want to start with the trial, or do we just want to jump into like a mid-tier?
I have a 35, 36, 230.
No more trials, or we flip tables.
Yeah, no more trials soon, hopefully. Hey, Brandy,
What's that?
I think your game sound is a little bit on the loud side.
Is it on the loud side?
Yeah.
All right. I've been trying to adjust my sound levels on the fly here, so that's why perhaps my gameplay hasn't been quite as good. Let me go ahead and lower my game sound again.
Exclusive.
Alright, I just swapped to my Inner Monk.
And we'll see how that goes. You guys in chat, let me know how it goes. It'll take me about 45 seconds to catch up with lag.
Are we doing
the
a trial?
streams, So, do we want to do a trial? Is that easier for you guys?
Whatever. I got plenty of keys, but whatever you guys want.
All right,
Let's
we'll
just
start
stick
with the
with
trial.
the trial.
We'll see where that gets us.
I have a 35, 36, 37. 2 37s and a 38 on this.
So what do we want to start with? Are we just going as high as
I'd
we
say
can get?
try to get. Well, why don't
we
we
stop
start
at
at?
sword?
Yeah, we'll probably start at like 30. We can probably start at the 30,
Yeah.
and then just climb from there.
The gems on this character are very low level, so it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
which way.
And we're just gonna keep upgrading the key.
Sure.
Yeah.
We don't need no gems.
I'm using like level 1 gems. It's awful.
I
There you
think
go.
I think I got. I have an esoteric alteration on here that I think might be level 7 or 8. Not too high yet.
We should probably stop because that's a 36.
Oh yeah, you're right. Right. Cool. Let's see how this goes. I did make some adjustments to your build, Devlok, because I found it after I rolled a bunch of CDR to be able to accommodate having Epiphany up all the time. I lost a lot of toughness. So
Yeah, it was mostly focused for T6, so all you really need is NDE for T6, and then you're good.
yeah.
A lot of us are hyped for that trials are going to.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I wonder how they're gonna do it. I think we talked about it briefly before, but it's gotta be
I think
kind of
right
like complex.
you're gonna be able to choose which riff you go do. I think that's the current iteration, and then
Is it based on what you've completed before, or just completely random? Like here's like
no,
100.
no, based on what you completed before. So if you have 46 as your personal best, then
I walked right into that. That's my own fault for not paying attention.
So do you think is like
right now, wait, go ahead.
I guess are you gonna have something like where, okay, let's say you completed something higher than like a 2-man, 3-man, 4-man, is that gonna be like a separate kind of key? So like if you complete a 50 in a 2-man but only like a 45 solo, you can get a 50 in a 2-man, but you can still only get a 45 solo.
I think I'm not exactly entirely sure. I just know how solo works is that you whatever your highest grade riff completed, then once you complete that one, you can go on to the next one.
Because otherwise you're gonna get like
Yeah.
solo people getting 62 keys instantly. You know,
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
4-mans.
That's a problem we have to figure it out, and I'm not sure what the current iteration is internally. But maybe what like it saves your progress per type of like 2-player, 3-player, 4-player.
So we're gonna still have normal rift keys?
Um,
Have to do bounties all the time? When are we...
I know Johnny is completely overhauling all that adventure mode progress and stuff like that. I think the current iteration is you just do rifts without a key.
Oh, okay.
I think the objective is for like rifts and bounties to have separate like goals. Like you want to do bounties to get this, and then you want to do
Yeah.
rifts to get this. Oh crap!
I think we're talking about it too. The Death's Breath's only coming in bounties and just regular rifts. So eventually, if you like do nothing but greater rifts, you won't be able to craft anything
You would do nothing but greater rifts. Oh yeah.
because you can't get
That's true.
Death's Breaths and greater rifts.
So we're gonna get the vendor all our keys next batch?
I'm actually not sure how that's gonna work. To be honest, like I don't like maybe it just converts it when the patch happens.
Yeah, probably too early to say right now, since it's still undergoing iteration.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about regular rifts, though, I know a lot of people, myself included, are wondering, like, are there any plans whatsoever to have like a higher difficulty, or are you kind of like happy with greater rifts just being the be-all end-all, and T6 is, you know, kind of a joke for a lot of players, and obviously as time progresses, more and more players will just not really do T6 anymore.
I think with 2-2, like there's so much power creep, and it's definitely kind of put a magnifying glass. Are we upgrading Keystone?
Yeah.
Getting Keystone.
Going 40.
40.
For now.
Uh-oh, here we go.
This will be interesting.
Well, we can go. I have a 35, right?
Oh yeah. I have a 35 as well, so we could jump up to just a 35 for now.
Where was I? I forgot what it was. I think with the power creep with 2-2, there's so many builds out there that's like super speed farm T6 that it's just like laughable. T6 laughable right now. It's we don't have any current plans to make any higher difficulties. I know that a lot of people have differing opinions, but I think it's something we want to talk about in the future, very soon.
It's a constant discussion. I think we had that discussion last week even.
Yeah.
So it's certainly you know, it's something we see from the community a lot, and it's definitely something we talk about. So.
And since everyone's running speed greater rifts now, you guys have any plans to, I guess, balance out the experience gain for all the players? Because I know at the start of Diablo 3, you used to average out the magic find way back in the day for all the characters, but now you guys don't. So, do you guys have any plans to share the experience bonus? Because I know on Monk, I sometimes put on a whole lot of experience gear.
Share. Oh, you're saying like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I wear.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
what
like
you're saying.
Lorix
Gear.
and Hellfire.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I'm not. That hasn't come up yet, but I'm not sure that's the correct way to fix that problem. But I mean, it's certainly.
Because then sometimes, yeah, you get somebody who's like leeching, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, the ZDPS people, they like in higher grifts, they wear EXP gear because they have nothing. They don't need to do DPS, right?
Yeah, right.
So they get more theoretically more or EXP than the other guys. But maybe we can just like make other items that make their DPS build better, so it's more beneficial for them to use that item instead of EXP moves. But I don't know.
But since we're on the topic of power creep, it kind of seems like with every patch, like a lot of the sets go by the wayside. Like for Wizard, for example, there's now Dosirs and Talrajas, and pretty much nobody's doing Firebirds anymore. And it's not that it's weak; it's still, I mean, it's stronger than it's
Pretty
ever
good.
been. It's still
I
got
think
buffed.
yeah.
But I don't know if it's like a flavor of the month thing or like
Well,
how
I
you guys
mean,
feel about that.
Ideal world, obviously. I mean, best sets would have pretty close power. I think there's also roles for specific sets. I think Firebirds is probably one of the faster speed farming ones. I think Vox came out with a build with Talrajas, so that's even faster. But I think there's validity with like each set having a role with a different gameplay style.
Sure.
I think I mean we try to get things close, but I mean we're not perfect.
Well, some of them just get kind of ridiculous. Like I don't know who's playing Demon Hunter right now, but like the Reign of Vengeance build now is like, you know, set it up properly, it's critting for like 25 billion on, you know, with the Crashing Rain belt and that set, which is, you know, really, really crazy. I think somebody critted like a 59 with its solo. Which
I
obviously
think
puts, you know,
they're the only 59, right? Everyone else is like
Yeah.
a couple levels before them, I think.
I think a Wizard cleared 59 too.
Yeah, so I mean, I think as people figure out builds, like right now, Talrashas, everyone's figured out like first it started off with like a melee build with fire structural blades, then people are figuring out to use a Serpent Sparker, obviously, and then I think we're gonna people are gonna figure out better builds, and then we're gonna see like how what builds filter to the top, and
Sure.
maybe there's a build out there that we haven't seen yet that it can compare to the Demon Hunter, but right now it looks like the Demon Hunter is pretty strong.
Demon Hunter's been strong. Like,
It's
since
strong
the game's been
forever, yeah.
released.
Thanks, John.
They've never been weak.
So
I don't know
what
if you
was
guys
your
remember back in,
goal
like, the-
for using Innas? Because I'm trying to get Innas to do like above Greater Rift 40s, and I can't seem to do it.
I think Innas and especially Sun Wukong are pretty hard to kind of tune right now because you can wear both. So they kind of multiply off each other. So I was,
Well, yeah, I'm talking about just using Innas by itself, not
yeah. Well, I mean, the
using
thing is, if you make
all.
Innas 50 capable, when you mix 50 Innas plus Sun Wukong, then it can, you know,
Oh, 45.
skyrocket the power of that.
We can do it. Come on, guys. We're gonna,
You wanna do
we're gonna top
36?
leaderboards today.
Well, we could keep upgrading our keystones, but then use our lowest because I have 36.
Sure.
We're going pretty fast.
We are going really fast. So.
I have like 38
That'll keep us going a little while.
up to. I have 38 to 50 basically tier by tier.
And my Paragon's so low on this character.
There's a Delseer's helm there if it's better than the one you have.
I don't need to upgrade my gear.
That's true.
What's next? 36?
Yep.
I have 30.
45.
Or 30.
We just did.
Yeah.
I think
We just did
a
35.
35. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he wanted to do 45. Just skip all this.
We could try to do an even 40.
Yeah, we could try a
Guys
40
want-
because we have a 40 key. So.
I'm down
I
for
think they want
whatever.
us to die, so.
Well, this isn't a hardcore, so that's not really matter.
I think
I think they just
die all
want to see
day.
people die.
I think so.
All right.
Oops. Let's just see Brandy dying. So that's,
You guys don't have to worry about it as much. They can't see when you die.
must be wipe.
That's true. Or if I happen to be standing over you.
How do you guys feel about barbs? Kind of. I know this is a big thing with rakers, and it's still kind of the case with waste set, where they don't really stay with the group, and so, like in 4-mans, I kind of like one of the things we discussed in our clan anyway, is that they can't really, like a lot of players don't want to play with barbs in 4-man groups because they don't really have the. Ever since rakers got changed, they don't have the pull anymore. And their single target is not that great, and because they also kind of go ahead of everybody else, the ZPS can't really like reliably lock down targets. So it's like there's the place for a barb is just kind of non-existent in higher tiers. It seems like for like 4-mans, for example.
Yeah, the playstyle for Barb and T6 is just to roll and everything and go to the end of the rift, which is kind of the problem where like the difficulty is too easy. I haven't played with a high level Barb because you don't really see him, to be honest, but I wish there were. I mean, I think the X said Barb, but anyway, I wish there were more options for the Barb where they could feel useful in the higher greater rift, but right now all they have is Raycore and Whirlwind set. But I think most people are pretty happy with Rake, especially John.
Because I know in PTR they had like seismic slam builds and all that.
Yeah,
which pretty powerful.
they had
AK
more
set
tech.
was like super strong,
Yeah.
which makes more sense in a 4-man because now you're like sticking together with the group.
I mean, if we introduce new items that help out with the IK set, that makes them more viable for men, I mean, obviously, it'd be better. Like, Mortex, we took away Mortex because it was way too powerful, but I think with the redesign on Mortex, whatever it is, it could help IK barbs be useful in groups.
I think it's a great concept, and the bracer slot is perfect for a barb.
Well, Bracer Slide is perfect for any class.
Well, yeah, that's
Sets are...
There's no, that's true.
Except for monks, we got the last 2 seasons.
Monks, monks.
No more bracers for us, please.
like Bracer and Balance is perfect because all the other set pieces are... Oh crap. All the set pieces are, shoulder, hat, chest, legs, etc.
Yeah.
So they don't fight with the set pieces. So they
For the most part. There's a few pieces.
The thing is like, the reason the Sun Wuku is hard is because there's an amulet and, like...
Which rolls terrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, no,
it's
actually...
impossible to get a good one.
I think it rolls with socket now.
It's a lot easier now, yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't it still roll like attack speed by default?
No, it doesn't.
No, we replaced
I don't know.
it.
I've only found a few, and they've all been.
Yeah,
really
in
bad.
two, I made it so that it replaced the attack speed with the socket.
So, is Samuku turning into a 6-piece next patch? Still the current plan?
We currently do not have currently do not have plans to. In a future patch, we'll improve Sun Wuku to 6-piece. The thing is, like I said before, it's hard to tune Sun Wuku and Idas because you can combine the two with, like, you can do 4-piece Sun Wuku and do 6-piece in a. And the power of Sun Wuku is already very high, so it's kind of rough because, like, if there's multiplicative damage modifiers with the Sun Wuku set and the Inna set, it'd probably skyrocket the monk hit.
Well, I mean, right now they don't stack. Like, your allies don't get the same.
Yeah, right. If they did, I think. I mean, that's something we weren't sure about, and something we can look into for in a future patch, but to make it that combo balanced enough with the R6.
So if Samuku's not getting a 6-piece next patch, do you have any idea what the next monk set's going to be?
I think the current thought is like it'll be something to do with seven-sided strike.
Okay, so that wasn't part of the Inna set that didn't get in live? Okay.
Yeah, and I think we're also, in combination of that, we're going to redo Shenlongs to help... Oh, what did I just do?
So Shenlong's going to be a 7-sided set?
It would probably complement that set, whatever set we're making. Is
Interesting, alright.
Like, kind of like the Volpathos and Whirlwind set.
Yeah.
So it would be like that.
Alright.
So what about?
I mean, if you guys have any
Invoker?
thoughts, Invokers, yeah.
Invoker, Helltooth, anybody?
Those are, I think, being worked on by some of our guys. I'm not sure what I keep on setting and
I
stuff.
want to say John's working on Invoker, but don't hold me to that.
I don't think that's true. I think he's working on Help Tooth. I'm not
Oh
entirely
yeah. There's a lot to work on for the next
Yeah.
patch. So.
Well, not 2.21, right? It's the one
Right,
after
right,
that.
right, yeah.
2.3.
a future patch.
A future patch. That is
Is
the
what
proper
I've been,
term.
told, I've been told to say a future patch.
221 is mostly just bug fixes and things like that.
I believe.
Potentially.
I believe 221 has the whirlwind make less visual change, but other than that, I'm not sure what else is in 221.
What happened to the Acheron thing, the barb area?
Oh, that
Yes,
just
demo.
didn't make it into 2.2. But it's
Is
still,
that still on the table?
yes, absolutely. It's just it wasn't quite ready yet. So
Cool. It'd be nice to have some new zones. I really like the new rifts, new rift maps. That you guys
Keystone,
have
right?
fixed.
yep.
45.
Yeah, I think I have 2 45s now.
Should we go to 45? That was, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. I was standing and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'll
We have the
switch to my
technology.
EP monk for 45, I guess.
I have to spend my Paragon because my Paragon's so low on this character.
I need to spend blood shards so I can pick them up.
I don't bother. So we want to do 45?
Let's give it a shot.
We can try it. We can try it and see what happens. We might reach our limits here though.
Yeah,
9 minutes to go.
Speaking of sets, did we? I know you guys talked about Earthquake set 6-piece coming at some point. I think so.
I think
I don't know, I'm not trying to like bait or anything, but I thought somebody said something about
we did
Earthquake
say in a
being
future
redesigned
patch.
as 6-piece.
Yeah, we did say in a future patch that we want to make all the vanilla or classic class sets into 6-piece. So Veers.
Sure. So is it just gonna? Would you be doing like a redesign or just kind of the damage buff treatment that a lot of the other sets are doing?
It depends on like what the set's about. I think for Veers we're gonna keep it Archon. For Invokers,
Archon.
not well. The thing is, I might get a lot of flack by saying this, but I don't think Perma Archon is that fun. I think Perma Wrath works because you use your own abilities, but Archon, you're stuck
swaps
with
your
this
bar,
ability.
yeah.
So for Veers, I'm trying to think of something like that. When you're an Archon, it feeds into while you're not an Archon, and vice versa.
So you kind of want to swing back and forth between the two.
Yeah, I'm pretty against Perma Archon right at this point, but I mean, I definitely don't want to make it so that when you're an Archon, you feel like God mode, but when you're not an Archon, you feel like nothing, you know. So I kind of want to make it so it feeds.
So God mode in both.
Yeah. I mean, if the gameplay supports it, yeah. I mean, if you can keep it up.
That'd be kind of cool because I remember the whole like fiasco with Wrath. Like first it was like Perma Wrath is bad, and then it's good, and then it's bad, and now it's good again. But it seems like pretty balanced now.
It seems like people are having fun with that. And I think it works because you can use your own abilities, whatever you feel true.
Right.
When Archon just replaces everything.
But it's such a cool ability. It's so much fun.
It is.
It is. I think you miss the highs and lows if you keep on staying in Archon for the whole time. You kind of want to feel that spike of like, oh my god, I feel amazing and I feel like God right now.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But then people are just gonna stack cooldown reduction, and they're just gonna do the same thing.
I think it's okay to have Archon like up 80% of the time, or I don't know, 60%, whatever the case is. But I don't think Perma Archon is something I want to promote.
Well, you can probably get it with the Zodiac ring, right?
Probably, yeah.
You can get it. You can
you
actually
can
get it
get it.
already.
Yeah.
The Gogok. You can already do it.
That's the problem we have to figure out.
You have to
Or
put
maybe-
cooldown
I mean-
reduction on everything. But
Sure, but
it's
maybe
cool.
maybe the Veer set makes it so that if you're like out of Archon longer, it boosts your game. Oh god, gameplay while in Archon better than if you were Perma Archon. Something like that. I'm like 0 HP right
This
now.
is getting a little.
It's a little
I
bit
didn't
the
change my
opposite.
passive. I should have changed my passive to defensive. I didn't. I forgot to do that. So We're gonna be getting. I think we're gonna be getting rocked here for a minute.
Yep.
Are you guys reviving your corpse or?
Yeah. I'm coming back here.
So now that you're getting rid of the perma CC, are you doing anything to reduce the monster damage soon?
I think that is what
Is that
we want to
next
do.
match? Because right now we could use a witch doctor.
Yeah. Right now, what our talks are, I think, is we're leaning toward reducing incoming damage to make up for the fact that you can't CC everything all the time.
Okay. So are you guys ever gonna plan to have like tank sets for certain classes?
I think that's, me personally, I think that's a little tough because everyone wants to see big damage numbers. I know a lot of people like seeing ZDPS, or God.
Seems like a good option for invokers, maybe.
Sure.
At the tank set, so everyone can use it.
But it's tough because, like, the gameplay probably would be like, taunt me, I have thorns, and then I just sit there. So
Yeah.
I would want it to be more active.
Wyatt had a really interesting discussion on Westmarch Workshop about Invoker a couple of weeks ago.
We should probably stick together, huh?
Yeah,
No
probably.
problem. The monk is kind of doing this for us.
I'm trying.
Oh, here we go. Shield pylon. Now we can do whatever.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll last us a little while.
I think I'm yellow, I need to repair after this one.
Yeah, reflect damage. Get in the middle of this reflect.
Yep.
And take him down pretty quick.
And yes, I'm absolutely going to swap my manager to always going after this. Because I can't afford to not have it anymore.
Well, I'm using it right now, the salvation with agility.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So you're still gonna die.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. I'm getting that buff from you anyway.
Are you using esoteric
Yes.
at 25?
Low
No.
level.
See, that's the thing. It's
Yeah, the gems on this.
25.
That's the downside to having an account that's used exclusively for testing purposes. Is not everything is quite where it should be. So,
So there's no Paragon 10,000
right.
characters with perfect
So,
ancient rolls.
Normally, this is just for me to kind of test things out in between, like for player way, and throw builds together real quickly. But the gems are one of the weak spots on it.
Yeah, they're pretty much responsible for progression now when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep itching.
Oh no! I sacrificed myself.
Return
to
the
Joker.
return
Oh,
the
what?
favor. Oh,
I don't know how that happened.
That wasn't working.
I need to go
So-
revive in town.
one
something.
jailer. Yep.
No.
That was not worth it.
That was not worth it. Oh, why?
I guess I'll just res everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Devlok.
just try to trail him or something.
I need to repair.
I'm yellow. I'm not red yet.
I dodged that jailer. Oh, worth it.
I'm gonna wait for this one. There we go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe kill off that thing. I wish I
this
had
is-
a wizard. Actually, I probably would die.
I'm good.
All right.
Yep. It took that long. It's all good.
I need to go to town to repair.
This is badass.
Oh my god.
Don't don't do that.
Really? Oh, yeah.
I'm not used to accepting resurrections. Sorry.
That's right, because you're used
Should
to
I
playing
die?
hardcore.
I need to,
I can't even res. I'm just dodging too much.
Oh, did your gear break? I don't see anything on your.
Yeah, my game broke.
Nice.
I think we found our limit.
No, we
Yeah.
can do this. We can do this.
I think we
got
just messed up. We need to.
I need to change one of my.
Yeah.
I need to change a couple things around. I had kind
I
of
need
speed
more
farming.
toughness. I knew that
stuff.
toughness was going to be the weak spot for me, so. Because I lost
That's why I
a lot of it.
switched.
I'll go tank. We got an exploding palm, so we're gonna have the damage output. So we should be okay.
That only works if someone actually
Actually
kills
kill
the
something.
monsters. Because all I'm doing
Oh,
is slapping them. I'm not doing
Yeah.
any damage.
Yeah,
Someone
I'll be
actually
able to do
kill.
it though. It works pretty well with the waste barb.
Alright.
So Don, I had a monk question.
Sure.
Well, there goes my gear.
I know. Back a couple patches ago, you guys got rid of one with everything to switch to harmony, but now pretty much every monk still uses harmony. Is there Is there any plan to look into that in the future, or same?
I think passive diversity is important. I think right now we're God damn it, we're focusing a lot on the legendaries that kind of buff your skills right now. I mean, Harmony is used by probably like 80% of monks right now. It's pretty really good. I think what part of the problem is that monks are kind of not very tough compared to like say a crusader and stuff like that. So if they had a lot of more options to get some toughness from other sources, I think Harmony would probably go down.
Well, that's kind of the same thing because now every monk is also using pretty much every dodge rune as well.
Yeah.
Blinding speed, agility.
That's crazy. Yeah, because like everyone hated.
Dodge.
We hated on dodge earlier this year or 2 years
now it's
ago.
better.
Now it's like, oh, everyone loves dodge.
Yeah. All right.
Alright, so we gotta do something about this guy. It's kind of a bad place to fight him.
Yeah.
But everyone loves Arcane.
I do when I have accounts
Happens to be my lowest resist. So I'm gonna get eaten by it.
Most of my characters have managed to get a Countess Julia's, so I'm not used to having to dodge it. Which is really dangerous, by the way,
Just
when
like
you swap
first-
to your hardcore character who doesn't have one.
I need to get on the other side of him. How did we do so well for like half the rift, and then
I don't
And
know.
then suddenly
I wonder if we need to get him in this
Camel.
big room. Honestly.
this is just a minion. You
Most
just
people
give it.
just skip the
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah, so how do you guys feel about yellows in Raider Rifts? Because they're kind of OP.
I would normally just skip the minion at that point because we already got the orbs.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, we did get him. Yeah, why'd we stick around?
Yeah.
I think
Sounds too
because
much
we
fun
all
talk.
thought it was the champion.
Yeah, we need more damage.
Yep.
We got it right here. Just round up the trash mobs. We can realistically clear up to the Rift Guardian just with trash. I mean,
Then I do nothing for the Rift Guardian.
Oh, this Rift Guardian has ads, so get the small
Yeah.
ones.
Yep.
Anyway, I just AFK.
Strategy.
Strategery.
Where's the spiders?
they'll come.
They'll kill him immediately.
Oh wow.
Die?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I thought it was bad. I'll try to get him. Sure.
I'll get him.
It's a
I
male
have
monk.
nothing else to do.
I got the achievement.
So, with this patch being like such a huge itemization patch, are there any plans to like take, a future patch like more of the existing legendaries that don't really have a place in most builds? Like for example, like Templars, they all pretty much use like either Azurath or now the Yunjando or whatever, but you don't really see, even though those are like pretty strong weapons for crowd control, you don't ever really see people using them because they're just like much superior options. Is there any plan to make builds or something like that that would, at least, I guess, use more of the existing items in the game is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. We're constantly reviewing like all the items that, or well, we're first prioritizing I think the ones without affixes. I think that's okay that Yujang Do, or however you pronounce it, is a pretty strong Templar item, and that's its purpose.
Right.
Well, I'm not entirely sure that we'd go to the direction of like, oh, we're gonna make a Yujang Do build for whatever class. You gotta EP these guys.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
then,
Oh dear.
Oh, baby aggro.
just like a kid on stream. But yeah, as always, I think we said this a lot of times before. We're gonna look at the old legendaries and make sure that they feel legendary.
Oh yeah. That's how I feel about Greater Rifts. Greater Rift fights. That's another interesting thing because you see at higher tiers, like you get characters like we'll talk about Barb for example, clear out the whole Rift, Rakers or Wastes in like 5 minutes or less, and then you get to the Rift Guard. It's still a 10-minute fight. Is that something that's intentional versus the scaling of like the regular monsters? I mean, do you want ultimately to have the Rift Guardian fight be half the Rift or more?
My personal opinion, I wish the Rift Guardian fights were more interesting and less HP. Like, I kind of like I know a lot of people hate on Orlash. He's pretty
Yeah, he's
OP,
pretty OP.
but I think the fight is interesting, and if it lasted shorter, I think
Unless you have pets.
Yeah, that's true.
If you have pets, Orlash fight is not interesting.
But I mean,
it's a restart.
I mean, we got to figure out like interesting fights for each type of build. It's kind of hard to do that, but I think if every fight was as interesting as Orlash to be, and maybe a little less HP, I think that'd be a good place to be, because the Rift Guardian's supposed to feel like a boss, not like a meat sack.
Right.
Keystone?
Yep.
Already 6, so swap out a couple things and should be good.
We'll take that. Oh, I need to clear up my inventory again.
So speaking of interesting boss fights, do you guys plan on making the Hellfire encounter any tougher or easier to do? Because right now it's one of the most painful things to farm. It's just farming keys and organs.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think Johnny's revamp of Adventure Mode covers parts of that. We have a lot of stuff coming in future patches, so it's like it's hard to say like what's all affected how the cadence of playing the game is changed. I know that a lot of people dislike the fact that it's 50% at T6, but you know that's something we can review and hopefully make better.
It was a lot worse.
Because I was hoping that
Yeah.
you could have a key vendor, so you could just spend your blood shards on a bunch of keys.
Huh. That's an interesting idea.
Actually, this reminded me, I've actually been thinking about this for a really long time, ever since Reaper of Souls launched, but currently there's no reason to play campaign, like at all, and it seems like it's such a waste because
There's
like
a lot
Act
of good
5
stuff
was
there.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like it's just, everything about it was so awesome, but you play it once and then you never play it again. And I remember like there being a conversation like a couple years ago or something that you guys didn't want like boss runs because you didn't want people specifically farming, you wanted some randomization. But would that really be a bad thing to have some sort of, like maybe if you complete the entire like act and then maybe on the last boss, and you have to do all the quests, and on the last boss you get a guaranteed like legendary of some sort, kind of like a Hellfire. Well, the way that Hellfire works, so it's like you get a specific item and then you just keep farming it
So you
to
mean, like,
get a better
targeted
version of
legendary?
it. Yeah, and that would give people, and make it obviously like balance it so it's not OP, but it's still worth the effort, and that would give people a reason to play campaign.
I do wish we had more incentives, to play campaign. I think we do have tech where there's like, if you run through campaign, you get a guaranteed legendary. I think it's before level 70 though, which kind of sucks because anything before level 70 doesn't really matter. But
Yeah.
I hope in the future that we have more, like we have a conquest where you can speedrun campaign mode, which is a little bit of incentive, but I mean we could definitely do better with incentives to play campaign because there's a lot of cool stuff out there. I mean, a lot of the boss fights are really cool, but they really get touched right now. Like I think there's a lot of Rift Guardians that are just meat sacks, and then we have interesting boss encounters that aren't really get touched. I think we could do a better job exposing those to the player base.
Yeah, it just seems like it wouldn't be too far of a stretch to add something that's already in the game and make it fun, and then give people even more things to do.
Yeah,
it's already, the infrastructure's already there.
You'd be kind of surprised how hard some.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not implying that it's easy, but I'm saying like the campaign mode is already there.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like players out there that are like, oh, why can't you just copy and paste the code and it works, right? But it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like edge cases that you have to think of. But I mean, in the particular case of campaign mode, I'm not entirely sure what it would take to. Oh god. What it would take.
There's no chance here.
What?
Well, right now you guys have a Leoric's crown drop
Yeah.
the first time you kill. So I mean, if you maybe had like a vote where like you could get a certain legendary, or we have a higher percentage chance drop. Like everyone wants a furnace, like for a lot of classes. So if you maybe had it 20% drop from the Act 3 boss, maybe a lot of people would do campaign.
Or even now
they
the
got
furnace
one.
is still kind of like falling a little bit by the wayside with all the other legendaries. What if you did like clear out Act 5 or clear out the whole campaign mode, you get a guaranteed furnace. Obviously, it still has to roll well and still has to be an ancient, but now you have an item that you could farm for. And it's not super broken or anything.
Target legendaries are kind of tough because we do have like kind of a target legendary with Royal Ring,
Right.
Red Red, and everyone kind of hates farming that. So if the activity itself isn't very fun, then I think we might have a problem with like forcing people to get. This is how you get your furnace. You got to kill, a Malthil a bunch of times. But what if I don't like doing that? So it's kind of a tough balance, and it's hard to not swing too far in one direction to make it so that make it
Yeah, but people still
mandatory.
farm. People still farm the ring. I mean,
Yeah.
until they get a good one, and then they stop. I mean,
But
I don't know how you
there's a lot of
really-
people that are unhappy about it. That's the thing.
yeah. But there are
Right,
also
that's-
people who are unhappy about greater rifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems, and you got to take the lesser of two evils. That's right. I think right now, we do like the gameplay of Greater Rifts, and hopefully we can bring other activities into place so that you can farm things, especially while in this mode instead of this mode, etc., etc.
It's kind of about having something for everybody to a degree. Because not everybody's going to enjoy the same kind of activity.
Yeah. It's hard to cater to everyone because you can't. I don't know. But,
Realistically, you can't. You can try, and that's what we try to do, but...
yeah.
So here's the question of the hour: are you guys gonna make Best Bargain Pants good? Because for a brief moment they were really good.
Well, they weren't so much really good as that there was something legitimately broken behind the scenes that was happening.
Yeah,
So,
but it was just a running joke that like, wow, they're finally useful.
right.
And it was because conceptually it was like a really cool
Yeah,
item.
I mean, I think that's the idea behind all the life per second stuff, and that's bargain. But I mean, there is a difficulty where it's good, obviously, but obviously it's not going to be pushing. You're not able to push higher GRs unless you're exploding, or not exploding. What's the word I have to use now? I don't know.
Leverage.
Whatever.
So they were good for about 8 hours generally.
Well, I actually extensively tested them, and like the problem with them was they didn't actually scale with anything. Like they just scaled with physical damage in your life per second, and which made them like the most you could possibly do even on like a monk with a Rogar's stone would be like, I don't know, 2 million damage ticks, which is less than like a rank 1 legendary gem.
And everything else just scales crazy.
And it was just, yeah, it just didn't scale whatsoever. And it's just kind of a shame that some of these items are really cool. Like the idea is really cool, but then they're just I know we have to farm Forgotten Souls, but there are some items that you get to a point where you don't even bother IDing them because you just trash them.
I think there's like I said earlier, there's difficulty where it's good, and I think if we stop there, then the game was just it. There's so many builds out there that work out because, I mean, if we have an infinite scaling Greater Rifts, everyone's gonna be, the best build's gonna filter to the top, and then something like that's never gonna be like in Diablo 2 there was like hell mode, and that was it. So that's why a lot of builds felt like that they had there was a lot of build diversity. But if we had Greater Rifts in Diablo 2, then I don't know. Maybe Hammerden was the only build that would be good.
Hammerden.
Yeah.
I lasted for so long that time.
Why are
It
you
was
laughing
like
about
30
Hammerden?
seconds.
Oh, everybody played a Hammerden and an Oridon.
Yeah.
Orden was the best.
I played a Sork, so I had a buddy that played by Hammerden.
Which, by the way, I think we really need a Hammerden set for Crusader.
I'd say the current plan for me at least is the next patch, in a future patch. Sorry.
Well, especially with the belt that you just released, which would work perfectly with it.
I think I played a Hammerden in Diablo 2, and I do miss that gameplay. But the thing is, it was kind of boring, kind of like Whirlwind, where you just teleport everywhere and you just stand in the middle of everything and just press hammer all the time.
Hey, Whirlwind's not boring, alright?
Well, I mean,
It's mindless fun.
I don't know. I like sets with active gameplay. Hammerden might work. I mean, right now, I think the current plan for the next Crusader. Hold on, how many did I? Is to make it kind of like the Hammerden gameplay. So like you follow.
I mean,
the
the Crusader's already got a lot of really good builds.
Yeah.
Really good build diversity. It's just.
Well,
I saw Blessed Hammer and I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
yeah,
It's
nostalgia.
tops out
Yeah.
of T4.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if the next set helped it out a little bit, then you'd see it more often. and hopefully the gameplay is a little bit more active than just teleporting in and hammering.
So can resplendent chests in Greater Rifts give progress globes?
Do you resplendent chests spawn in?
Yeah, there's one in the
Oh,
last
we just
Oh,
I think that's a bug.
That's a known bug. I
Yeah.
literally sent a screenshot of that to
All right.
to one of our devs like a week or two ago. It just takes a patch to address it.
But if you can't fix it, make it give some globes or something.
Spawn the Rift Guardian. You find
Yeah,
that
that
would be
too.
some good RNG. You find the splinter chest, open it, spawn the Rift Guardian.
Backed into a corner. Not a good place.
Yeah,
That is,
there you go.
Not with Arcane, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I am dying a lot, but it's because I just lack toughness, and more specifically the
Oh,
lack
now
of,
we gotta go.
the lack of gems are the big part.
Yeah, that's how it
And
is.
it's because you're using a terrible build.
Damage-wise, it's fine. It's just it's very squishy.
It wasn't meant for anything
It
higher
wasn't
than
meant for.
30.
Yeah.
I think that, like a lot of the play your way builds were pre-2-2 before people figured out like all the top tier builds. So whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, alright.
especially with this last round, they were mostly builds that were submitted prior to patch 2.2 coming out. So, and I went.
Yeah. I will say, I love what you guys did with this patch. I think this is the best patch like since the game has been released. It's the itemization is kind of what, you know, like how I played this game since beta, and I was super excited when it was first announced, and it's all like, yeah, loot, 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 and now we finally, like a couple years later, have diverse loot, which is really cool. I hope you guys continue doing that.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the diversity with each class. Like you kind of feel like the fantasy of each class kind of hit the mark with each of the sets, and
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
what they're capable of. And it's definitely our plan to bring more legendaries, more sets for in the future patches.
So, future patch, next expansion, we're gonna get a druid or what?
We have.
I'm only here to talk about future patches.
Yeah. We've
That's a
got
patch, it's just a really big one.
there. Not at this time. We have no plans to announce. So.
It seems like it would be like the logical thing though, because we already have a necromancer basically, and it's like thematically every class from like Diablo 2 has already been remade in some way in Diablo 3.
So you'd
Like,
rather?
I guess monk is kind of like an assassin, sort of.
Okay.
Bald assassin.
It's a little bit different from. I guess that's the only one that's kind of different. But demon hunter now with Unhallowed Essence is like a multi-shot Zon, so.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I guess we did go back to like the 2 days where like there was a whirlwind bar, multi-shot on, frozen orb sword. We kind of
Which is really good. It's awesome.
A lot of good nostalgia. But like, future patches are free. I don't understand. Like we're gonna give you. I'd rather have that. You guys keep on dying.
This is gonna be a fun fight.
I accepted a really inconvenient res. That's what happened there.
We could really use some crowd control on this guy. Too bad we don't have any. Whoops.
These dudes should be stunning him. Oh god.
Oh no. We might be able to get him. Let's see, what do we have left? Like 5 minutes? Yeah, we should probably be able to get him.
Maybe.
Just don't keep.
I'll just slap him for no damage.
So this kind of is a good time to ask, with certain Rift Guardians, like, how do you feel about the meta of having, like, basically fishing for a certain Rift Guardian, typically poison because they're most Rift Guardians. There are more Rift Guardians with poison damage than the others, and that being, like, the key to success in a higher tier grid Rift, because otherwise it's just, like, impossible. Specifically for solo play, maybe not so much for group.
I personally obviously don't like fishing, but I wish our Rift Guardians were. There's less variance on our Rift Guardians. Like I said earlier, if every fight was kind of like Orlash, but then it'd be more interesting. I guess you'd still get fishing because you're wearing a particular.
Yeah, of course.
Tier.
Fishing's never going to go away.
Yeah,
but it's
it's
just
a tough.
the extent of it right now seems, in some cases,
Yeah,
very...
because the high variance
significant.
between each of the Rift Guardians and even the populations is it's pretty. I think could be looked at, and hopefully we can review it and make sure the variance between populations of Rift Guardians are a little bit smaller. But I mean, at that same point, like you lose out on randomness too.
Yeah, yeah.
If everything was a zombie, then it'd be kind of boring. We want to keep the randomness while keeping the small variance, and that's a tough thing to do. Are we gonna make this?
Maybe.
I think we are.
Are there any plans to increase the buff bar from 8, I think 8 icons? Because right now, sometimes when I run with Innas, I have 4 mantras, and then I'm trying to run the convention of the elements ring, and I can't see it half the time.
Well, can you
Anyway,
combine the
consider-
buff from Ina's into like a single icon? That would kind of solve the issue. Because that seems to be the problem for...
Well, there's also buffs like from other classes that you don't necessarily care about. Then I think that introduction of a lot of legendaries in 2-2, there's a lot of buffs, and
That's true.
it gets kind of ridiculous. But I think what we want to do is hopefully, I don't know, we're talking about like how we're trying to figure out how to improve the buff bar, and we're not sure how exactly to go about it. It's something we definitely want to do because, well, me personally, in 2-2, it's just ridiculous. You have focus restraint, you have the triumvirate, you have all this stuff.
It's kind of turned into WoW.
Yeah, if there were some sort of like
Tabs.
prioritization, that'd be way better. But unfortunately, we don't have. We're not doing that in the near future. But hopefully, in a future patch.
What about mats? Like, do you guys feel like the balance is pretty good between like arcane? I mean, everybody's got veiled crystals for days, but arcane dust and then specifically later on reusable parts, they're really, really. You can farm them reliably and quickly, but that's definitely an unfun thing.
I know for blue mat specifically, I think we reduced the cost of Reaper's wraps on that. It used to be 72, now it's way lower. But I know like. It's a hard balance, but I think like if there were other avenues to get your mats, that'd be awesome. Maybe if there was a way to transmute, your materials from one type to another, that'd be cool too. But there's nothing I can say about that at the current moment.
Sure. What are some ways to maybe more? That's nice. We got it though.
I had to get one more death in, I guess. Like.
Way to go! Awesome. We got it though. So
We did get it. Yeah.
Well, that was a blast.
All right. Well, revive in town. Go back and grab my stuffs.
Oh wait, I gotta talk to her. Are we upgrading? Yeah, I guess not.
It was the Rift Guardian really that just took a while, but well, we could probably. The thing is, we didn't have a pylon on him, so if we had like a power pylon, we could have got it
Taken down much more
pretty
quickly.
easily.
Yeah.
What you ask is impossible.
Are we still doing another? Or?
Sure, why not? Let's see. We are just about out of time for today. We could probably do one more.
Okay.
One more song.
One more?
One more song.
All right. We'll do one more and see. I'm going to start just keeping a death timer for myself because I think that's about...
Just pick every.
So should we try to push 47? Or you guys want to do a speed grift?
Say 47.
YOLO.
Sure, why not? I've made worse decisions.
These deaths don't count. I don't know.
What if you imagine if you
hardcore,
lost XP every time you died?
That'd be awful. I don't know.
I think I'd be like level 5 right now if that was the case.
All right, I picked an actual damage skill this time. Probably not gonna do much.
No, we did well with Exploding Palm.
47?
Yeah, I just dropped Dashing Strike.
Oh, I got you.
All right, let's see how this goes.
So we just need a shield, a power, and a conduit on the Rift Guardian. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
If we get that,
Just.
oh, the bees.
Look at
the
that.
bees.
Look at that.
Hey, look, we get no progress.
Power he's just popping now. Yeah, these are still, they're like the worst in Inferno.
So annoying.
But everything one-shot you in Inferno. That was fun though. I had a lot of fun in Inferno.
Everything one-shot
It was
you.
very challenging.
Yeah.
It was extremely challenging.
It felt really good when you, like, say, killed Diablo on hardcore and Inferno, and it's like, oh crap. Oh boy, I'm about to die.
I used to
This
farm
little-
bots back then.
We should probably kill this yellow to B. It's pretty low. Or it's pretty low amount of hit points.
And it begins. That's one. That's one. Two. Immediately two.
Alright, we'll save you.
I think I'm good. Thank you.
Which way? Oh, not this way, sorry.
Watch this be one of those rifts with like a crazy dead end. That's supposed to not be in the game. Bug report.
Take a screenshot. Not that there won't be a VOD for
That's a
So many
dead end.
dead ends.
I've noticed though with Greater Rifts, you guys have a lot less variance in the maps. Like regular Rifts have a lot more different map types. Is that intentional? Are you just trying to control Greater Rifts a little bit more?
Yeah, like, just for the competitive, I think it's for that aspect where you want to make
They
things
just
on an
don't
even
look
playing
like
field.
open maps.
Yeah, open maps would be kind of cause high variance. Like it's like the Rift Guardian thing.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so much variance, then you can't really compare two people. You have to fish for rifts or.
Sure. Yeah, because then we probably split up.
Oh boy.
I don't know development, like from development standpoint. I'm sure it's not easy, but could you take one of those open maps and then like apply a closed map tile set to it? Sort of. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So it's still close. It's still kind of linear, but it just looks different.
I think that's tough, especially from going from open map to like say a dungeon type map. Like Cathedral tile set is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Because it's made to be very linear, but.
But let's say you take like Oasis and you just had the edges
I think that's tough.
like in a linear.
I'm not sure if that'll work. I'm not entirely sure of the logistics behind it, but I think that is tough.
Gotcha. Yeah, we all want more. We love this game. We just want more and more.
Yeah. Totally understand that. I was reading that thread you made, Devlok, and I think in a future patch we're changing it. The current thing of the a shield equal to 300% of your health. So it's not immune. Also it'll stun targets instead of slowing them. That's the current iteration, but we'll see how if we can stay. Wizards, I don't want to say it. Like they have a very valid complaints quite often. They're very vocal about what they think is wrong with the class.
I don't know.
They're
I think
very
Wizards in a pretty good
passionate.
spot right now.
Wizards are in a pretty
Yeah.
Like there's a
I
lot
don't
of.
know. I don't know. Everything can be better, sure.
There's always room
I-
for improvement. So
Yeah, I remember like right before patch 2 hit, everyone was like saying, "Oh, Tower Roshan sucks," blah blah blah. I don't know. You know, but we try to listen to the feedback and try to make things better. I remember like when Halo Arlease first came out, a lot of people thought it was just crap, but I think
Now
a
it's
lot
like
of like some
mandatory.
builds, not mandatory. Some builds
Well,
are
yeah, for
using
some,
it,
yeah, for like a melee Taraj is good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing happened with Rhyme. Everyone was saying, "Oh, everyone hates dashing stripe," and now everyone's using it.
Well, yeah, like we said, like the game evolves. People figure out builds, and we just give you the tools. Try to figure it out. Hopefully, it seems like Brandy hasn't figured it out.
no,
We
no.
Wizards need an anti-death mechanic for the entire Greater Rift.
I'm also not technically running the Dashing Strike set, so...
Oh, carry on. Let's play test.
I had a dashing strike question, Don. For the Ryman set, right now we have to use charges before we spend spirit. Is there any thought about changing that to be the other way around?
So the other way around is definitely what. This is kind of a crappy answer, but the other way around was definitely the way we wanted it, but
Okay.
The technology isn't there.
So you can't actually make it. So then, all right.
That's a good answer.
The way that the power system works is like you can't have two costs at the same time. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but what was explained to me, it was like it would be very like it would change. It would touch a lot of aspects of the game, and it'd be very risky change to make it so that it would work that way.
All right. So my other question was, right now you guys buff the cast speed of dashing strikes. So a lot of times, if you're not using Ryman, like for if you're using Samuku and you click like a little bit too fast, you use up all your charges, and you're like, what the heck happened? So I guess there's no way to separate that from.
Does that not happen with Raymond too?
No, that happens with with dashing strike all the time. So I wasn't sure if you could just make it only affect people that had Raymond to make it cast faster.
I don't know about like that. I would rather fix the bug completely. Obviously, I'm not entirely sure how to go about fixing that, because if you like slow down the attack speed, then people are going to complain.
Yeah. I mean, you buffed it to make it so that Ryman would be better, but
there was a lot of feedback.
Just wasting charges.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something we can look at, but I'm not entirely sure what the fix would be. Dashing strike is pretty complicated under the hood.
It's cool though. It's a really fun set.
I like the build with the new sword, Injiam.
Rakers on steroids.
Yeah.
I think Alkaiser had posted the video with Raycors with Injum. It's pretty crazy too. So, yeah. But I'm pretty happy with that set, because to me at least, the monk is about quickness and traveling for all around a lot. I know there's a lot of people
Definitely fast now.
That's what you could have done with Mortox Bracers. Just made it so you get all runes for 15 seconds after killing a pack.
Just get all runes all the time.
But then that would only be for T6.
I'm doing kind of okay, I think.
I'm not.
I said we as a group.
The stream is like in the point of view of Brandy, and she just constantly dying.
Is that why people are asking? Can we see a
Probably.
different point of view?
Yep.
Here, I'll bring mobs next to your corpse. How about that?
Let's all go to Brandy.
It's very kind of you. I feel so included now. I'm part of the group. Oh, look, I get to rest. Let's see how long that lasts. Not very, apparently.
Yeah. Pretty far away. Oh, dude.
I think I got desecrated on that one.
It
Oh
happens.
man.
Yeah. Orb.
What are you guys' thoughts on unavoidable damage in drifts? Are you happy with having to wear an immunity necklace or just biting it?
So there is an intent behind unavoidable damage, which is that it's kind of a gear check of sorts, and there will be a point that you reach where you're going to hit your wall. It's what is possible at the moment. I can't really speak as to like what our current design goals for it are. I think that's a Wyatt question.
Yeah, Brandy's right about that. It's kind of meant to be paper cut you, so you know that you're ready for this greater rift. Oh gosh.
See, like, I know
Clearly
that I'm
we are
not
not.
ready for this
But-
great rift.
I mean,
Yeah, but see, the damage you took wasn't unavoidable there. I'm specifically referring to like Jailer, for example. And then when you get into higher tiers, Frozen. Although Frozen can now be mitigated a little bit better, but Jailer I think is what kind of irks most people.
I think part of the frustration is that even if you sacrifice toughness, it doesn't like make you able to clear that greater rift level. Like and for damage, like your damage that you lost and the toughness that you gain is not comparable to your effectiveness. I think we can do a better job about that, but like Brandy said, it's supposed to be a gear check.
It does have a purpose. It's just there's probably still some leeway in there.
Honestly, we wish we paper cutted you more, so it's. Or I wish we paper cutted you more, so it would be more apparent that, like, oh, you're not ready for this. But I wish the sacrifice that you make for sacrifice. I'm pressing this, by the way. And I died. You sacrifice you make for sacrifice.
Hamlin, no!
Oh, no.
Hey.
Oh, wish I had my immunity necklace.
I did.
I'm just wondering because, like, for example, for the Demon Hunter specifically, you're still kind of going back to the, like, Act 3 Inferno meta of just going full glass cannon, because you get to a point where no matter how much toughness you have, you will still get one shot. And so the goal for, you know, pretty much every Demon Hunter at this point, with some rare exceptions, is that just avoid all damage. And that's how you progress, and you still die a bunch. But that's how you, like, grind out the high tiers, you just avoid everything. Is that an intended thing?
I think our intention is for people to get toughness, and that's how you handle those situations. I think we could, like I said earlier, I think we could do a better job of making the effectiveness better when you sacrifice damage for some.
I didn't mean to teleport.
We were.
You guys said you were buffing shields at some point. Did that ever happen, or?
Shields.
Yeah,
Just shields in general.
Shields
Yeah.
is a
like shield
mechanic.
gameplay for not just for Crusaders, like for monks. Like we have nothing that supports shields, and a lot of people
Wait.
want to play shields.
Shields isn't an item, not the.
Not the mechanic.
Well, both.
Right.
Maybe like make passive work with shields.
Right now, I think I'm pretty happy with how Crusaders use a lot of shields a lot of time. But I think, yeah, I mean, I think the hard part about it is like if people want to see bigger damage numbers, and if you're wearing a shield, you're not getting big damage numbers. Like a shield would have to have like an insane amount of crit or whatever damage affixes to be able to be comparable to another weapon instead of or two one-handers versus a shield and one-hander.
Right. 'Cause, even for barbs, like, sword and board sounds like so cool, but you can't really use a shield for anything.
I think I was talking to John about this. I think maybe last week, and he definitely wants to make that a thing, but it's a hard problem to solve. I think because people are so obsessed with damage numbers and killing things fast, which is right. I mean, it's Diablo. You want to see big numbers.
Right.
You want to kill. You want to feel like you're super powerful.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it, because there's it seems like everything's like a double-edged sword when it comes to game design.
Oftentimes
You buff one thing and something else gets nerfed, and vice versa.
it's just take the lesser of two evils. Oftentimes, and whatever people are gonna be unhappy with your decision, but whatever. Yeah,
that's-
I mean, we
that's-
try to be
Right. You can't
cater
please.
to everyone.
You can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time.
Sure.
So, but we do our best.
Are we gonna make this?
Maybe. It's really close.
I don't know.
You need to get in there.
That's faster.
If I get in there, I'll die
Damage.
instantaneously.
Are you
And
sure?
know it. Yes. Because it happened earlier. Because I accidentally
proven.
epiphanied to him and just instantly disintegrated.
Just force stand still and hit him with your clones.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
Oh shit! Are we? Oh.
48
Family.
seconds.
We got
barb,
So close.
Spin a win, baby.
I'm down.
There we go.
We're gonna end up Brandy's like the last person alive. It's just,
That would be so sad for me.
That's hilarious. Well, that was fun. That's a nice little cap.
Yeah, that was a really fun way to end this. Thank you
Yeah,
guys so
upgrade
much for.
my kit.
I'm gonna just upgrade it for fun.
I'll upgrade Keystone or whatever.
I think I'll go for gems.
I probably should have gone for gems.
There you
but-
go. You can use that for the next stream.
My gems are so low level. It's like, should have got the key. Oh well.
gonna go back and pick up that furnace.
The Dex one, so you can use it.
There actually is a furnace on this account. It's just I was running this build, so I wasn't using it. Awesome. So, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your days to join us and hang out and have fun and watch me die a ridiculous amount of times.
I wasn't watching the stream. I need to watch the VOD, I guess.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot
It'll
of
be
it.
a whole lot of you have died and waiting for the resurrection timer. But thanks so much. And thank you for everybody who's hanging out with us in chat and stuck around with us and asked some questions and just, it's part of the community. That's what we're here for, and that's what Playerway is kind of all about. So,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Coming, guys. It's pretty good fun playing and watching Brandy die.
well, you get to enjoy this because normally when you watch me die, I don't come back. So,
Sure.
anyway, thanks again for everything, and we will be having the VOD go up as soon as possible. It should be available on Twitch shortly after the stream ends, and on YouTube either later this evening or tomorrow morning. In the meantime, make sure you send in your builds. We'll be starting Playerway up again next week, and don't forget to enjoy the game for what it is and show us your builds. So until next time, guys, take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. See you guys later.
See ya.